These people need to hurry up. What's up, guys? Today we got a little interview prepping. It's going to be a lot of gems. It's your boy Life is Soul, the bodybuilding banker. I'm here with my boy Demi.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, we just picked a nice little office location, something different. And yeah, just wanted to give you an experience of the do's and don'ts as well as our experiences as first year analysts. So yeah, tune in.
Stay tuned, guys. It's going to be a lot of gems, a lot of information, so we hope you enjoy the vid. Okay, guys, so before we get to the gems, before we get to the tips and tricks, I'd like to touch on why Soul and I actually chose to go into investment banking as our first career in the first place. Just to give you a bit of background into both of us, we actually studied engineering degrees. So we're not coming from an economics or an accounting background, but we ended up doing corporate M&A. So I'd like to just start off with you, Sol. When did you realize you wanted to go into investment banking? What would you say the key catalyst was for that decision?
I'd probably say around sixth form. So I had, coming from an African background, I had the parents kind of encouraging me to do traditional degrees or traditional paths. So it's like the lawyer, the doctor, the standard stuff. And I think, I played around with the idea and I thought to myself, doctor's a great career path, but I don't really have the patience to study as long. Law, I kind of enjoy because of the client-facing element, but I kind of wanted to do something more dynamic and exciting. And I feel like, reading, I knew about business, but I didn't know what investment banking entailed. So I wanted to do something that was closely related to business, that was a high rewarding career. And I think most importantly, I wanted to be in the city. So I wouldn't say I knew what I wanted to do, M&A banking, but I know I wanted to be at the pinnacle of the city, kind of bringing in big deals. And so that was more my career choice. And as I done my research, as I spoke to people, it kind of narrowed into investment banking. So I'd say that's my real approach. What about yourself?
Okay, brilliant. So for those that don't know, for me, I was quite a numerate guy when it came to academics. So I enjoyed subjects like maths, further maths. I was also quite keen on economics and just staying in the loop with financial times and so on. So I say for me, it naturally found me as a career path. My school was actually really good at emphasizing work experience. So I remember having my first taste of corporate experience when I was about year 10. About 15, 16 years old. I was actually at a financial recruitment firm and had seen a lot of jobs within investment banking. Obviously, I saw salaries that had immediately made me say, I'd love to
when you had
a piece of that pie. Do you know what I mean? So that probably directed me. And then from there, I started to apply to a number of insight days during sixth form. So I went to a number of bulge bracket banks, got a taste of what it was like to be an investment banker, and was quite an early starter. I'd say I went and prepped, got all my spring internships, summer internships, and just went from there really.
So I think that's interesting because a lot of message I get personally is, when do you start? And we used to say start as soon as possible, like do your research and don't be afraid. Like I think going out, cold calling, messaging people, just doing diligence and doing a Google kind of search and seeing what opportunities are available, because the earlier you kind of make that decision or find out, the better it is for you. And I think for me, similar to you, I was fortunate enough to get into a program around, I would say, around the sixth form mark, maybe I worked at a firm, a reinsurance firm, so one of a really good reinsurance firm, the top 5 global reinsurance, completely different from investment banking, but I won't say the firm, but it was in the Gherkin, and I was just flabbergasted, going in there. And I think when I applied and I got the opportunity and I looked at the building, I said, going in the city, meeting these really, really smart people, I was just taken back. And I think after getting into there, even though reinsurance was completely different, but yeah, I think doing that quite early on kind of ignited the fire in finance. And then as I went on, I wanted to kind of get into investment banking. So I'll say that was my first experience. And then like you, we got to university, I had kind of an idea. So I got into those spring weeks, got on off of a summer internship, and then we took it from there.
Brilliant. At what point did you start buckling down and getting yourself ready for that final graduate role in investment banking in the end?
I would say it really hit home probably after the spring week. So, going to the university we went to, we got to meet people from Oxford, Cambridge. You thought you were there. And all of a sudden they hit us with the assessment centers. So I'm first year of uni, I hardly know anything, 18, 19. And then we have to go through this assessment day where we had like a bunch of numerical tests, verbal tests, interviews. When it hits home is when you can see people within your kind of line of path that you're going through in your journey. So it's like, I'm in first year and we've met, I think it was mainly third years that have gone through that. Same courses as us. And they all of a sudden they have jobs at 50, 60, 70,000 outside uni.
Yeah.
So I think that's when they hit home. I'll probably say end of spring internship. And then I started buckling down, making sure I convert, because like Demi kind of said, we come from non-traditional, non-finance backgrounds. So we didn't study accounting. We didn't study finance. We had to learn this. So within our spare time, after our degree and after kind of going out and playing, we had to really understand what are the questions, what are the answers, what are the fundamentals. And so I'm sorry to say it was then. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'd say very similar. I was sold on the career path after my first spring internship. As you said, the attractiveness of the job, compensation, the ability to work with extremely smart minds on exciting deals with business leaders that you'd probably struggle to meet in other career paths at such a junior level. I was just like to myself, I want to do this investment banking thing. So,
of course, yeah.
I did a investment banking summer internship in my penultimate year of university at Warwick. I was a bit unlucky. There wasn't enough headcount on that internship for me to come and join as a graduate. So the moment I took that internship opportunity, I was just hit the ground running just before my final year.
Of course.
And I was able to actually achieve my graduate job offer, before Christmas.
Great.
Final year.
Yeah.
So I took that pressure off and was able to just
pressure.
get my head down, buckle down on the degree and look forward to it. And I think, us actually going from Warwick and then meeting on this graduate day without knowing that either of us would arrive was
because we done the same degree, which is crazy. We got multiple offers, but I think the key thing is we didn't necessarily get our first offers. So perseverance is key. Similar to him, like myself, I was at a well-known investment bank, I've said in my previous videos, and there wasn't enough headcount, so I could have taken that rejection as, oh my gosh, what do I do? But what did I do? I went down, I got my head down. It was tough because balancing it with the degree, the amount of lecture classes we might have missed. So it's a minimum threshold of a 2-1. You will not get the offer. So it's important to focus and make sure you can, get your 2-1 in.
And just to follow on that point, actually, sometimes guys, when you actually receive that job offer, you might see a condition on your degree outcome being a 2-1, and you don't want to have worked so hard throughout your university career on securing a great career, but then miss out at the final step just because of your grades. So as Sol said, please try to be as efficient in your time management, as productive as possible when you are applying, but do not forget that degree, essentially.